Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
The rich and powerful are telling you. Are y'all paying attention?
You have to give them credit for one thing. You have to give them credit. They're out in the open now. They're out in the open now. They're not even trying to conceal it anymore. The owners of the country they got their election. They said, we're going to get this election. We put you people in that court for a reason.
All right,
now's
back
the time
to
to pay
earth
us.
for you now.
Yeah, forget all that stupid. Will you? They're out in the open. They're openly driving the bus, and we're all in the back.
Famed comedian George Carlin was, and his words are true as ever.
And he's also doing the rockets. He likes rockets, and he does good at rockets, too, by the way. I never saw where the engines come down with no wings, no anything, and they're landing. I said, I've never seen that before. And I was worried about him because he's one of our great geniuses, and we have to protect our genius.
The ultra-wealthy. Going to bat for the ultra-wealthy? Carlin read between the lines on that, too.
The real looting in this country takes place in the transfer of the wealth from the poor to the rich. I'm sorry that you don't like class and the truth, my friend, but you're just stuck with it. Class and truth. And the poor have been systematically looted in this country. The rich have been made richer under this criminal, fascist president and his government.
And obviously and importantly, Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
On the political mob mentality.
And people are wonderful. People, I love individuals. I hate groups of people. I hate people who have a group of people with a common purpose. Because pretty soon they have little hats, you know, and armbands, and fight songs, and a list of people they're going to visit at 3 a.m.
Carlin hits the nail on the head yet again.
Because I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I don't need anybody's money. I'm using my own money. I'm not using the lobbyists. I'm not using donors. I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
Firstly, all of this is false. Second, Carlin knows the game the top 1% plays, and it's with us for, as he rightfully puts it, their like-minded interests.
Pastor Jeffers?
Yes.
Prayer?
Let's pray together, may we?
Yes.
Father, your word says, amen.
Amen. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
In addition, when it comes to religion and politics, Carlin has a take you are welcome to differ from.
I'm told by people who pray, I say to them, suppose God doesn't answer your prayer. And they say, well, then it's his will. I will accept his will. Then what is the point of praying in the first place if he's going to do what he wants to anyway? There's supposedly a divine plan. Well, how are you so arrogant as to ask him to change his plan for some narrow reason, whether it's health or wealth? I mean,
because we are arrogant. We all think the world revolves around us.
But do you think prayer works? I mean, I pray to Joe Pesci.
I don't believe in...
I pray to Joe Pesci, and I get the same results. I get the same results I used to get from God when I was 9 years old, and I believed in the invisible man in the sky. Yeah. You get about half the things you pray for. It's laws of probability. Half the things you pray for, you get. Half of them you don't. You write off the half you don't. The half you get, you say, oh, isn't he great? And it's just a game. It's a form of mental illness.
No, I just don't want...
But if they really believe that there's a man in the sky keeping score, something is wrong with them.
World War III has never been closer than it is right now.
A load of hogwash from Trump here.
The fact that a war is old men protecting their property by sending young men, or rich old men protecting their property by sending middle class and lower class young men off to die. It always has been. It's all about owning things. All of this back and forth and debate implies that there are really choices in this country, that we really have choices, freedom of choice.
Well,
it's an illusion. Army. Americans are made they're having trouble filling the slots in this all-volunteer army. I wonder why.
It was the democratic process. It was not a conspiracy.
You say Americans
this is the whole problem
don't want to drive these economic vehicles. Since when do Americans get what they want? When did this start happening? How did this begin to happen, that people actually get what they want? Things are taken care of at a high level with a lot of money changing hands.
Except in your universe, everybody...
And I was that kind of
person. I was one who swam against the tide of what is expected and what the establishment wants from us. But the politicians, God bless them, or something like that, they're at their most entertaining when they're in trouble. When they're in trouble, their explanations usually begin simply with words like miscommunication. What did you do wrong, Senator? Well, it was a miscommunication. Or I was quoted out of context. Better yet, and more ironic, they twisted my words. Such a nice touch. A person who routinely spends his days torturing the language complains, they twisted my words. Then, as the controversy continues to heat up, he moves to his next level of complaint. The whole thing has been blown out of proportion. It's always the whole thing. Apparently, no one has ever claimed that only a small portion of something was blown out of proportion. Has to be the whole thing. That's because now he's feeling the heat. And so, as time passes and more evidence comes in, he suddenly changes directions and tells us, we're trying to get to the bottom of this. Now he's on the side of law and order. It's jiu-jitsu, really. We're trying to get to the bottom of this so we can get the facts out to the American people. That's always a nice touch, American people. In fact, at this point, he might even say, I'm willing to trust in the fairness of the American people. Clearly, he's preparing us for something. And so, when finally all the facts come out and our subject seems quite guilty, he employs that sublime use of the passive voice, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made, don't look at me, probably someone in my office. Things are moving faster now. Mistakes were made is rapidly overtaken by there is no evidence. No one has proven anything. Eventually, I will be exonerated. I have faith in the American judicial system and that certain sign that things are closing in. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Whatever happened? Well, he's about to find out. And we know this must be true because the next thing we hear from him is, I just want to put this thing behind me and get on with my life. I just want to put this behind me. That's an expression we hear a lot these days in all walks of life. From people in all walks of life. Usually the person in question has committed some unspeakable act. That's the problem in this country. Too many people getting on with their lives. I think what we really need more of is ritual suicide. You know? Never mind the press conferences. Get the big knife out of the drawer. Personally, what I want to do is I want to put this thing behind me and get on with my life, thing behind me and get on with my life. I'll repeat that for you. Personally, I want to put this thing behind me and get on with my life, thing behind me and get on with my life. And just to round out this section, let's hope there's a special place in hell reserved for those who have recently decided to take responsibility for their actions. That's the big thing now, taking responsibility for your actions, like it's a recent discovery, you know. He's taking responsibility for his actions. Well, isn't that wonderful? Ask him if he's willing to take responsibility for my actions, along with my alimony, my car payments, and my gambling debts.
First things first, if there are any stories we missed, if there are any that you would like to submit, get at me and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open. And please, if you can, go to tyt.com/join to support our network and also support our work here at TYT Sports. When I look at George Carlin, I see a few things. No matter how you feel about his politics, no matter how you feel about his presentation, in the way that he delivers, how he feels about his politics, he was fearless. He said a lot of things that I truly believe the younger generation has a better grasp on than many others in society, specifically in the United States. How the rich continue to not put in the hard work to benefit themselves. They steal wages from those below them. Amazon, what Elon Musk owns, all of his entities like Tesla and SpaceX, the Gateses, have your pick. It is not them working truly hard. It's exploiting labor. And that transfer of wealth is something that George Carlin spoke on again and again and again. In a way, he was ahead of his time. For others, they simply would not listen. I do wonder, however, what would he say about the events now? We know what he would say about the Middle East, but what would he say about fascism? He took the stand a lot of the times of, I don't care anymore. I'm just sitting back and watching the freak show. My guess is he would be highly critical of Dems for being pushovers, and even more critical for an entire party clinging on to whatever desperation they have of making more money and staying in power by latching on to Donald Trump. He would have a field day with Trumpisms. I just wonder, would his mentality shift from, I don't care anymore, I'm waiting for the comet to hit Earth, or would it be, we must stop this person? I am very curious. I really am. Because in this modern day of American politics, we need his voice now more than ever.